Flame on! How's everybody doing tonight? I'm here with my special guest, Jared from Comics League. How you
What's
doing?
up?
And welcome to the first New Direction show of the new year. I know it's a little early, less expected. We're probably not going to have too much engagement tonight, but it's all good all around. But for this one, you probably heard the synopsis before. Kryptonian Empire. Okay, so what's the best way to describe this? For this one, it's basically how the destruction. There are multiple ways to show how Krypton was destroyed. We could go 1,000 different ways. But after a routine battle with General Zod, Clark, again, if you're not used to this, is based off New 52 Superman, if you're just now joining us. And he's about to send Clark to the Phantom Zone. I mean, Zod to the Phantom Zone, excuse me. And before Clark could push the button, Zod, pretty much asked him, do you really want to know what happened to our people? Rather than relying on archives and half-truths. Again, this is New 52 Clark, so he doesn't really know too much. And as you know, in the New 52, Mom Paul Kent tragically passed away in his prom night. So semantics. He's interested in what Zod has to say. And then he goes to the story about about his rebelling at the Science Guild, Science Council, depending on the version, the civil war that followed with Jor-El, and then leaves a small refuge of elite Kryptonians or high-class Kryptonians that escaped the planet before its inevitable destruction. Again, Zod only heard rumors, but these Kryptonians literally abandoned their people just for the sake of power, status, and preservation. And Zod himself is the villain? What do you think about that, Jared?
Nope, I love it.
Nothing you want to add to that?
Why don't you start?
Okay. So Clark is then curious. What do you mean? I've fallen for your deceits before. Who's to say these aren't more of your allies in your house? These aren't true Kryptonians, Kal-El. They would never abandon their people, let alone the name of Zod.
Okay, well, let me see. How do I respond to that? Trying to think, because this is a good one. In terms of how I think Clark would respond, or I got a better idea. What's up, Javia? I got a better idea. Here's one. Zod adds, remember, they would not abandon us because the Kryptonian warrior class, all with Zod, were bred to follow my instructions to the letter, no matter what.
Sorry about that. Please continue.
Okay. So what you should know is that I commissioned a data pod to be launched from Krypton upon its destruction, so that the knowledge of our people, and most importantly, what led to their needless destruction, would live on, so that the mistakes of our past may not be repeated.
You were never exactly known for the faint of heart, Zod. Last time, when we first fought Nuclear World, you still see this as your world, Kryptonian. You are merely an adoptive refuge on account of Jor-El's cowardice. Though I will admit, the High Council were bureaucratic, decadent, and arrogant, and the majority of which fled the planet despite their falsehoods the first chance they had, and cut a deal with Brainiac, no less. How could you possibly know this? I told you. Your father and I worked alongside the Guild for Krypton's prosperity. But I got wind of the project. The elites wanted the Ark for themselves. I defied them, and they vilified me for
it. And Clark goes, well, I believe I read somewhere that you were committing mass genocide on Krypton, so I'm pretty sure that that they took that into account. It wasn't just like, oh, Zod's questioning things, kill him.
I never said I was innocent. Then again, who truly is in this wider cosmos? But I do know these Kryptonians are traitors, and literally communicated with Brainiac. How do you think Argos City was captured?
Uh, Brainiac invaded and then took it. That was
Then,
Argo, right?
then again, Brainiac is known for being a collector of sorts and wanting that knowledge to himself. I, on the other hand, did everything in our power for our people. You don't have to believe me, and I don't very much care. But don't you at the very least want to confront them? Where do you think the Daxamite and your legionnaires in the far future come from? They're descendants of this false creed. I really want to hold them accountable. You want revenge, Zod. There's a difference. What is that Caped Crusader you constantly associate yourself with? Batman? Isn't his
Justice
whole
is
of.
different from revenge.
They're one of the same, Kal-El. You still retain your father's naivety, though I highly doubt those farmers from Kansas would have taught you any different.
Uh, don't talk about my father.
Which one,
Both.
Kal-El? Around this time, Diana intercedes. Again, this is based off New 52, New Direction Verse. Please, if you're unfamiliar, just go for the playlist. It's all there. Then Wonder Woman shows up, has some history of what's going on. If you really want justice for them, Clark, you need to confront them. Zod is the only one who knows where the Ark is and its destination. Any other record in the archive was either lost or forgotten to time. Not even Jor-El could have known where the Ark was headed. Zod is one of the only few still alive who knows.
Don't you think I know that?
This is a chance for a refuge of your people. And if they conspired with Brainiac, they should be held accountable. If not, better understanding of Kryptonian technology so we could free Argos. If you don't cooperate, Kal-El, I'm sure your cousin Kara will be more than eager to jump at the chance.
And then Superman's eyes turn red. I don't know why my camera is acting up again. So Superman's eyes turn red, essentially like he's being drawn by Jim Lee, and goes, "Leave Kara out of this."
Last time I checked, Kara was older than you. A cryopod doesn't change that. Surely she's capable of making her own decisions.
And you would know everything about forcing people to make their own decisions, wouldn't you?
I merely provided an opportunity. Note.
Providing an opportunity and providing an opportunity down the barrel of a gun is not the same thing.
By all means. What's my destination? The Phantom Zone, a gulag with the Green Lantern Corps. Another crisis will abode and I'll escape in the chaos. The same song and dance. The only difference between me and your other villains is that they have the mundanity to make a show of it. I'm cooperating of my own accord. You're offering.
Well, here's the thing, Zod. I don't know if you know, but I'm not exactly at the difference between me and Bruce is I'm not as devoted to the no-kill rule.
Oh, please, Kal-El. You're a lot of things. A brooding emo, a Boy Scout, hell, even your doppelganger.
I love Zod calling someone an emo.
Even your doppelganger from another timeline was more virtuous than you, even if this makes me sick to my stomach. Then again, not even I would have been brazen to pick a fight with a Norse god and lead to the demise of 3 million people.
Yeah, but you fight gods all the time, i.e. us, so...
We are merely those beyond us, beyond the natural. Those of the Pantheon are not to be trifled with. Shazam was a boy. His arrogance is understandable. You are just a fool.
Or maybe you're just scared of gods. I think that's more accurate.
This banter is pointless. I'm one of the only few who originally had credence out and clearance outside the council. If you want the data on the Ark, you have to trust me. Or throw me back in jail after all this is done. It makes no difference to me.
Or, hey, Diana, do me a favor and wrap Zod the lasso.
I've been telling the truth from the start. You can't compel me to entice you any more than I already have.
Yeah, but you see, I trust you about as much as I can throw you. So I would prefer to have it's called an insurance policy. Surely, Zod, a great, powerful military general like yourself would be aware of the concept of contingency plans.
Isn't that what the red solar battery is for?
Yeah, but I would prefer not to be led into an ambush by someone like you. And don't pretend like you wouldn't.
Very funny. Very well, say your piece. It makes no excuse to me. However, don't you want to know where the next carnation of Thor Odin's son ended up? I'm sure your wife wants a chance at vengeance.
Wait, when the next flower of Thor shows up?
Incarnation.
Oh, incarnation. Okay.
With
How exactly would you know where Thor is?
I follow the stars. Not to mention, didn't Odin specifically state that Thor would be punished for the monstrosity he committed here?
Yeah, what does that have to do with you knowing his location?
After every Ragnarok or every end time of Pantheon, it begins a cycle. Some end up in better standing than they were previously, others end up worse, depending on how that incarnate acted on their path and destiny.
And you know this how?
Because I recently had a transaction on this location. Does the name Mongol ring a bell?
Oh, God.
He has quite a powerful new champion, and a whole refuge of Kryptonian and Daxamites enslaved. All the while, the Empire is taking proceeds in the back pocket. Surely, stopping an intergalactic slave trade is more important than picking fights with me.
Maybe more important, but there's so much less fun than punching you.
Clark, this is pointless. We both know the Ark and freeing those slaves is more important. Save the banter for another time.
But it's so much fun. It usually means there's a battle scene about to happen.
The Justice League shouldn't get involved in this. This is an interplanetary matter.
And it's a Kryptonian matter, so I believe, and Diana, by marriage, you're a Kryptonian, so let's keep this in the family.
Doesn't the Supergirl get a say? And then Diana decks Zod, finally shutting him up.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, man, I could not take that man's voice another moment.
Let's haul him. Let's see what he has to say. Though the cheap shot wasn't unnecessary.
Oh, so basically what we're doing is that scene from Batman Hush where Catwoman punches Ivy and Superman goes, was that necessary? And then Batman's like, yes.
Pretty much.
That's kind of what we did. Yes, exactly. There you go.
So then they go for the archives, communicate with Martian Manhunter, pretty much all their interstellar experts, and they can confirm that, yes, there was record, albeit highly classified records, that there was a rogue faction of Kryptonians that smuggled off the planet for the Ark and seized the project for themselves. Zod stood up to the Council. The Council sided in favor of this faction because they wanted to preserve Kryptonian culture, at least in some capacity. Zod wasn't going to stand for it, and then a civil war broke out.
Okay. And then, also, here's the thing, Jay Heat. Remember, we've got a very important, because we're dealing with space, right? And we do have a Kryptonian that's also a Green Lantern.
Yes, but we could bring him along, but I don't think he's
Nope. Well, technically, half Kryptonian.
I think I know where you're going with this.
Incoming, because for those of you that remember the New Direction verse, we gave Superman and Wonder Woman a child, named her Hippolyta, and she became a Green Lantern. I remembered all the way back to there. So we are going to bring her in because her and Jessica Cruz show up and say there's this colony that borders a yellow sun in like sector 2481 or something like that.
Random number.
The point is, what matters is strange occurrences have been happening. People have been reporting flying people that shoot fire out of their eyes. So the Guardians have instructed the Lanterns to go and investigate.
Though Hal, the most experienced and leading Lantern of 2814, you really think taking Hippolyta... One, Hippolyta's a deputy Lantern. Two, this is just a means to better control her powers. And three, you are not taking a child, let alone your own kid, in an intergalactic war zone.
Why not? She's half Kryptonian, half Amazonian, and has a Green Lantern ring.
This sun may have different effects than the one in 2814, or even the Milky Way galaxy.
It's a yellow sun!
I'm just saying, someone young and volatile who can barely control their emotions, combined with willpower, not the best combination.
Well, beyond that, she's also half Amazonian, has the strength of Wonder Woman and Superman combined. I'm fairly certain she should be fine.
At least let one of the Lanterns go with her as backup. She has no reason going on this alone.
Oh, of course. Jessica Cruz will go with her.
I think what Hal, and this is John Stewart's here too. Mm-hmm. I think what Hal's trying to say is that he doesn't trust the effects of the power ring, given how it made the crime syndicate.
Yeah, but at this point, she's an actual Lantern, I think.
Yeah, but Hal always gives the new Lanterns a hard time. I think he and John developed a begrudging respect almost immediately, but Hal and Guy pretty much hated each other from day one.
Okay, I see.
But hey Cameron, how's it going? But so then move on, and then the Lanterns, Superman, Wonder Woman all reach this nexus point where Zod's intel last led. And then we then get to, hold on, what's a good character I can use for this? Hold on, a space character, not Adam Strange, but who could we use here? No, Lobo's too crass. Man, there's not that many space characters. Screw it, we'll use Booster Gold. Booster Gold then shows up in the Wave Rider. Like, Clark, look, I get it. You're curious. You want answers. But do you really think
Booster Gold's in the Wave Rider?
Booster Gold's a time traveler. Just work with me here.
He's not that's not how he time travels. He uses skeets.
Okay, well then we'll just use skeets then.
There you go. Thank you.
There still has to be some key Justice Leaguers still remaining on Earth, Tevi. I'm not going to send everybody at once.
Yeah, you can't just do that.
Look, are you sure this is a good idea? Not to mention, these Kryptonians, despite what their ancestors did, are completely different people. Why indulge in Zod's bloodlust?
Well, because I would rather at least know what's going on. Consider this a fact-finding mission, because I'd rather know what's going on, because, hey, they could be good people, they could be bad people. At least we'll know for sure, because an army of loose Kryptonians that have the powers of Superman under a yellow sun, yeah, that warrants a little investigation.
But why would Zod unveil the intel willingly?
Yeah, but we might as well investigate all the same. You never know, guys.
I just got a bad feeling about this.
All right, Han Solo. Had to do it.
Then have one of the Lanterns stay behind to watch over Zod in case he tries anything.
Hey, Guy, you're on prisoner duty, and then Guy goes, "Why is it always me?"
Despite the fact you have a punchable face.
And then one woman goes, "Because you're dependable." And then Guy goes, "I really hate being dependable. I miss out on all the fun."
You do realize you just lied to Guy's face, right?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And the irony's not lost on you at all.
And then Diana goes, he's Guy, though.
Fair point.
If Guy didn't want to be lied to, maybe he should be less crass.
Still, we'd rather put up with Guy than Lobo.
Yeah, and then Lobo shows up. What's up, you bastitches? Nothing. Totally nothing. Don't mention the Kryptonians.
Well, I gotta.
We're just gonna go out for intergalactic ribs, is what Hal says.
The main man's a lot of things, Jordan, but I'm not stupid. Besides, I know a heist job when I see one.
No, you don't.
The Ark is powered by a very potent material, one that can even further enhance Kryptonian abilities and negate.
How does even Lobo know about this?
Lobo has scoured half across the galaxy and has made deals with a lot of people, including Brainiac. You sure Zod just doesn't want the artifact for himself? I mean, why else would he cling to a 35-year grudge if he's not just here for the artifact?
I mean, he's a megalomaniacal conqueror.
Well, I was going to steal the artifact for the United Planets. You could work with me and we could prevent an interstellar incident, or we could make a fight out of it to keep appearances.
We'd rather avoid the war option.
Fine, then hand over Zod to me and I claim my bounty.
Whoa. We're not handing Zod over to you.
I just told you. I had a job. Either get the artifact or capture Zod to prevent him from getting it. I get paid. I get paid. Earth is no longer in danger. It's a win-win.
How much are you being paid to bring Zod in?
How much you got to buy me off?
$1 more than whatever you're being paid.
You really think the main man is dumb enough to fall for the biggest stooge in a B heist movie?
Yes.
Gardner, I'll give you points for honesty. And then he
Thank you. Why am I getting more respect from Lobo than from the Justice League?
Because
and then Wonder Woman turns to him and goes, that's not exactly something to be proud of.
Wait, did we properly secure the latches on Zod, or did we use a red solar battery?
I use a red solar battery.
You do realize those things only last a few hours, right?
Not the ones built by Wayne Tech.
Funny thing about venturing the galaxy. The more you're exposed to the wider universe, the more tolerance you build up. I may not be at 100%, but I'm more than enough to deal with you humans. And then Zod makes a break.
And then one just cuts off Lobo's head and is like, he's much more manageable without his head.
You do? He has regen. He'll be fine.
Yeah, Zod I'm not killing him.
Zod got away and is beelining straight for the Ark. How can you guys banter at a time like this?
Have you met us?
And you wonder why Waller commissioned the JLA against you.
No, that was just because Steve Trevor was a jealous, petty a-hole.
Says the guy who literally renewed his vows on global television just to stick it to the guy.
That's the reason why I renewed my vows. Look at Diana.
The pot calls the kettle black, Clark, and that's coming from me.
Guy, let's not forget, when you were on the JLI, you were constantly trying to sneak views into the women's shower. So you're the last person I want to lecture me about how to treat a woman.
Look, we could either prevent an intergalactic incident, or we could spend time throwing shots at each other. What do you want to do?
Granted, the throwing shots at each other would be the most fun. However, yeah, we should probably go take care of those Kryptonians.
So then we jump banter aside, because I know the banter is really fun, but we got to speed this along. So then they cover the arc. The Daxamites are very cordial. What brings you here? Then Guy in Guy fashion pretty much rips the band-aid. Oh, I don't know. An intergalactic space criminal and rogue Kryptonian is about to beeline for a superpowered artifact your ancestors have been hiding for the past 35 years. So
business as usual.
What our ancestors did was inexcusable. They prioritized their status over their people at large. We don't condone what they did, but given Krypton's instability and Brainiac's subsequent invasion and capture of Argos, they did the best given the circumstances. Zod took the path of absolutes and plunged what remained of our people into a bloody civil war, wasting time and resources. Two wrongs don't make a right, Kal-El. I hope you can understand this.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's your turn, Jared.
Okay. Two wrongs don't make a right. That's your thing, Cal. Yeah, but oftentimes you do have to go with what does the most good, even though it may bring some pain.
What was left? Krypton was stripped of its resources, almost to the point of inexperience, and the Science Guild were too blinded by their own arrogance and greed to implement any reforms. Our grandparents got wise and fled where they could. But in order to get the necessary technology, they cut a deal with Brainiac. They sold out their people in an attempt to save themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I understand Zod for being pissed off, but this has power trip written all over it.
Let me see. And that's why the Justice League exists, to counter people that have power trips like this guy.
So if we have Daxamite, does that mean... Oh, wait, technically Mon-El... Okay.
Mon-El is a Legion character?
He's a Legion, but but he would be considered a descendant of this faction, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to name a character specifically because I don't want to contradict anything, but yes, Mon-El would go on to be a descendant of one of these characters on this arc.
Okay.
Jessica Cruz tries to be cordial on account of Guy's brassness, trying to convince them to hand over the arc to them. Hand over the artifact to them.
Yeah. So let me see how would Jessica say this. Okay. So before we start an intergalactic war, how about we do this as peacefully as possible? Yes, the artifact, and we leave peacefully. Everyone's happy here. Everyone's happy.
Fair enough. We'll fetch it for you, though I will admit it can bolster natural abilities. So the half-breed might feel a little discomfort in its presence.
And then Hippolyta goes, "What did you call me?"
A half-breed. It's true, is it not?
And then Clark has to go. Let it go, Hippolyta. Let it go.
Trust me, there are bigger jerks in the wider galaxy. These people are just overly formal. There's a difference.
So they get the artifact, and then they get back in the Javelin, and then to go after Zod, because frankly, I would prefer not to have a megalomaniacal, or whatever the word is, Kryptonian just loose in the galaxy.
Wait, if this is a supercharged solar artifact forged by Brainiac that can further enhance Kryptonian abilities, shouldn't Clark or Hippolyta be agitated or further supercharged in his presence? Unless it's a replica, and the real one was stolen behind the guild's notice.
I mean, they could do that. I'm just thinking because, I mean, I'll tell you what, Jessica Cruz is containing it in like a bubble.
And then we get, I forget Zod's wife. I forget her name at the time of this stream.
They've changed that so many times.
Like, seriously, it's hard to stick to one.
Sometimes it's in New 52, it was Feora.
Feora then congratulates and commends Zod. Commend Zod on a job well done.
Ah, thank you, my love. Another successful conquest.
How long will it take the Lanterns to realize they have the replica?
I would imagine not that long. The thing that concerns me is the Kryptonian and his Amazonian whore.
You think they'll come for it? Or maybe to stop me? It's of no consequence.
Yeah, and by the way, so for ease, since this is the new 52 continuity, we're doing Feora. That's just easier.
Though I will admit, hiring Lobo as a countertip was rather crass, even for you. He is not exactly known for keeping his mouth shut.
Yeah, but he is very entertaining.
I give it a parsec, maybe two, and they'll chase straight towards us. However, I am curious why he didn't bring Kara Zor-El along. Probably because a boom tube just opened and she's beelining straight for us.
And then Kara just collides with Zod's face.
Puny little girl. You should hate the Daxamites just as much as I do. And you dare strike Zod.
Oh, I dare. You could ask Cal. I'm known for being very daring.
All right, and then Green Arrow. Green Arrow's trying to be the voice of reason here. Look, the Daxamites should not be condemned for what their ancestors did. All right, it was a bad situation, and a lot of people ended up dead given the circumstances. But don't turn this into another war, Zod. Just hand over the artifact and come quietly. When we get to the United Planets, you'll be treated fairly, which is more than what you deserve.
Yeah, I'll bring you without breaking you. Which is more than you deserve. Are you doing that? I like it.
Pretty much.
I like it, but so let's see.
If you were the Bat, Archer, that threat might have actually held some weight. However, you're just a lone bachelor seeking redemption.
I'm not exactly a bachelor, and my wife is. And then Canary comes up behind him and just blasts his eardrums with the full blast of a canary cry.
And then Liara just summons the House of Zod to attack.
Liara? This is Mass Effect.
Theora, excuse me, Theora. All right, all right.
Liara. Mass Effect is crossing over with this.
Very funny, Jared.
Of course, I had to.
Vibe because you forget Vibe was part of the JLI in the New 52. Vibe is opening portals left and right, trying to counter where he can. And they're obviously trying to get a distress signal to the Javelin with the main Justice League. But again, although the artifact the Justice League has is a replica, it also has an inhibitor that can neutralize key signals, including distress calls. So basically, they're carrying an alien EMP that completely closes them off from any communications until they land or till Jessica stops holding it.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're completely unaware of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's only when they arrive to Earth do they run into Batman real at the Watchtower. What the hell were you guys doing? I've been trying to contact you for days.
We may have snuck to a planet to steal an artifact.
You know, the one that's obviously radiating pulse energy?
Batman's, and then a guy, Garnet is like trying to hide it by staying in front of it. No!
One that's a replica. John Stewart had
how could you possibly know it's a replica?
John Stewart told me.
I'm setting you up, Jay. Batman goes, because I'm Batman.
And because I'm Batman.
There you go. I had to. We can't not have like explain and not do the because I'm Batman bit.
What do you mean John Stewart told you? He's still on tour with Oa for this quarter. He shouldn't be nowhere near Earth. Well, for one, the Justice League, the JLA is directly intercepting Zod. Got approval from the president just yesterday. Why would they?
JLA, the last time the JLA fought Zod, they got their ass kicked.
They're not there to fight Zod directly. They're there to procure the original artifact. You sent them as cannon fodder.
That would involve them fighting Zod. This is a bad idea.
Zod is in a sense of security. And even then, you need a specific trigger for the artifact to be active. Otherwise, it's just a dormant paperweight. And since Zod doesn't know the right keys, since he never had high clearance, at least according to the archives. If you and Diana hadn't spent so much time bantering and looked at them before you left, we wouldn't be in this predicament to begin with.
Hey, it was a pretty convincing replica.
All that proves is that Zod was the one who hired Lobo and he stole it in advance. Zod was only cooperating to buy time.
Sure.
Still, Clark is, although a little pissed off that he's been played, though he does remember his pre-Flashpoint counterpart telling him he's ready to be Superman again instead of Scion now, which means he has to be a better example.
Yeah, that's true, unfortunately.
And then they contact Cyborg. Is there any way we can get to the battlefield? They're fighting.
I can open up a boom tube.
Just remember, they're fighting on a distant moon, so gravity's going to be a little wonky.
Okay. So they do that, and then it's like Gardner shows up, and then he's like floating slightly, and then Batman comes through the portal and steps on him and smacks him into the ground. Hey!
I needed a counterweight. You were the perfect candidate.
You know, sometimes, Bats, I don't think you respect me.
What's there to respect?
And then there's Howler in the background going, "Oh!"
Why, you little? Don't try me, guy. Oh, I'll do more than try. And then Bats just punches Gardner in the face. Sorry, we cannot get through this without one JLI reference. I'm sorry.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, Kyle hovers over him and goes, "You know, guy, as a wise sage once says, do or do not. There is no try."
Really? You know we can't hear you, right? Oh, come on. You set me up for that perfectly, Bats.
It's called a comm link.
Enough with the puns. We have a job to do. Although Cyborg was able to channel Ubuntu, there was a time dilation because of how far out in the galaxy. Meaning a couple of hours had passed, and the majority of the JLA are knocked out and in power cells. With the exception of Kara, who's being tortured, which Clark can hear thanks to his super hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Since Kara is one of the only few that still remembers old Krypton and was the daughter of one of the leading scientists other than Jor-El himself, she's probably one of the few who knows the password to awaken the artifact. So Zod's just trying to get her to talk.
Mm-hmm.
You know how this ends, Kara. Give me the password and I can ensure the Daxamites get what they deserve.
The password.
Is that an Earth custom, or are you honestly that stupid?
It's called sarcasm. Perhaps you should try it.
You're resilient. I'll give you that. But I'm not here for petty trinkets. You know what they are. Their potential if left unchecked. And all it takes is one of them to become another me or worse. I'm practically giving the galaxy a mercy. And you and your cousin are hell-bent in stopping me. Why?
Because it's fun. And because taking all of your... because watching you stumble in defeat is one of the most satisfying experiences that Cal and I ever have.
Resilient to the last. Fire the kryptonite gas chamber.
And then before they can do that, a green ball forms around Kara and lifts her out of the contraption. And then there's Hippolyta hovering there with red eyes. And he goes, I'm going to need you to let my aunt go.
I'm not here for you, child. Face me yourself, Kal-El. If you're still soft on these primitive creatures, then fight me yourself.
And then Superman's hovering there and goes, I think he just called you soft, honey. And then Hippolyta not only summons Kryptonian powers, but like the powers of being the grandchild of Zeus, like she's shooting magical lightning at Zod as well.
Impressive. Just because I respect the wider natural balance of things doesn't make me fearful. You forget, child. We may not have an invulnerability to magic, but that doesn't make us weak to it either. And then he proceeds to knock Hippolyta out with a love tap. Granted, this is Zod holding back because Hippolyta is a child, but still. The audacity.
And then here comes okay, here we go. Wonder Woman comes out of nowhere and chops off Zod's arm with her magical sword.
You filthy ingrates.
And then Guy Gardner takes the hand with his Green Lantern construct and slaps Zod with it. Have a hand on me!
You know what? I'm not even mad. I'll let you have that one.
Why, thank you, dear sir. And then Superman comes up, grabs Zod by his hand, by his head, sorry, and blasts heat vision right into his eyes.
Why? Why would you care for them? They sold out your people, threatened colonies half across the universe, partnered with Brainiac of all people. Why
if you don't know, then you just don't deserve. If you don't know, you know what? I'm not going to tell you. I'm going to let you stew with it.
He had a point. For all my husband's faults, he has a point. These Daxamites are no more of a threat than us, or any wayward Kryptonian. Why take that risk just because you're fighting Zod specifically?
Because I believe in triaging one problem at a time. I would rather take care of one guy first, which of the two, the known threat is Zod. So we're going to take care of this a-hole, and then we'll take care of the Daxamites. Now, Feora, would you mind not backseat superheroing me?
I know how you are, Kal-El. And I know
you're and Diana, didn't she burn your face? And then Diana takes the sword and is like slapping her hand with it.
Very well. I'll tell our house to stand down. As long as you thought. Make no mistake. I'm only bartering to ensure my husband's medical attention after you sliced his arm off.
Oh, don't worry. He'll be treated with respect, more than he really deserves, but he'll be taken care of because we're not monsters.
I mean, come on, it's Zod. I mean, it's one less death spot in the galaxy to worry about.
Yeah, that's true, but I'll tell you what. If it would make you feel any better, Diana can cut off his other arms and his legs.
Let's not tempt Diana more than she already has with this situation, shall we?
All right. So where do we go from here?
Zod is arrested and taken to the Guardians for medical care and holding prior to being sent to the United Planets Tribunal. The Daxamites are offered a place in the United Planets, but ultimately decline. Since securing the artifact was a bigger priority, and the fact they should have known better than to trust Lobo, even if he had worked with the Justice League in the past.
Yeah, and Hal Jordan is like in front of their Congress thing going, why would you trust Lobo?
He
I
worked
mean,
with.
I mean, with all due respect, but that is literally the worst thing you could have done. He's Lobo. He's a bounty hunter.
And he's helped wipe off half the known sleaze in the galaxy. The devil you know and all that.
I believe. Yeah, but you see, that didn't work out with Rogel Zar. Yes, I'm referencing He Who Must Not Be Named because that's attached to the dead Superman's lore. Not our boy. Not our boy.
And then Lobo goes, I think I was competing with Rogel for that job, but I ended up turning it down. I can't remember why though.
Yeah, I'm sure because you're drunk. And then Lobo goes, that's fair.
So yeah, not the most climactic ending we expected. It's kind of more of a. I'm not going to say Game of Thrones, but definitely more of a political drama for this story than anything.
Yeah, exactly.
But it sets
smaller scale.
Yeah, it sets a precedent with the Daxamites. But now that they have the artifact in their hand, what to do with it? Do they destroy it? Do they seal it away?
Batman puts it in a bat vault.
All right, fair enough. And then right when Bruce is getting ready to secure after already secured the artifact in a discreet location, makes it back to the Batcave, he notices a plant by the Bat computer that suddenly spits out pheromones.
Oh, poison ivy. Here we go.
Bruce doesn't remember much, but when he does, he sees the Joker unalived in his passenger seat in the Batmobile.
Okay, I see what you're doing. Are we doing the whole Joker's dead thing? The Batman kills Joker thing?
Yep. Remember when we set that up a few years ago?
Yes.
This is how that happens. Again, Bruce does not remember the events. He just knows he was ensnared by Ivy's pheromones when he got back from a mission one day. Bruce does not remember what happened, but he still turns himself in anyway.
That works.
So then and yeah, it's kind of a prequel, Cameron. Clark does feel bad what happened to Bruce. Say what you will about the Joker, but Bruce has made such an effort to clean up Gotham. He didn't deserve to be dropped down to that level. Even Diana worries that Bruce will ever be the same after this. Even if the Bat family helped clear his name, no, Bruce does not feel any justice was earned.
Okay.
So Bruce kind of spirals for a bit. I mean, this is after Batman's team up with the Suicide Squad, competing with Waller. So yeah, we're kind of skipping ahead a little bit because again, that's in the playthrough, that's in the timeline. I'm not gonna spoil that. I'm not gonna spoil that video. But would Bruce actually leave the cowl for a time over this and go on a sabbatical?
Didn't we kind of have him do that?
Somewhat, but that was more so Tim briefly taking on the cowl while Bruce was technically in prison before getting roped into Task Force X.
Okay, that works.
And I just didn't want to retread Bright Knight with Grayson from Grant Morrison's run. That just would have felt like a retread.
That is true. That is true. So what you could probably do in that case is, okay, now what we could do, let's consider an alternate way of handling this. What if there is no Batman? And the Bat family has to contend with there being no Batman.
Like Tim wears the suit, but he's not really acting as Batman. He's just
there literally is no one as Batman.
Okay.
Like for the time from when Bruce kills the Joker to when he comes back as Batman, there is no one else in the cowl.
I can see that.
Now, what that allows for is that we could see how Gotham reacts to not having its protector. Then we can essentially have like other characters come out of their own, essentially, and have their own expand their like mantles. Like what's the word? Like knownness, if you will, as opposed to like saying, okay, this person has to be Batman because Batman sells.
So similar to Gotham Knights.
Yeah, exactly.
No Court of Owls. No, we're not.
No. We're not doing Court of Owls. Because that's been done to death with Batman in general. So it's really like I kind of prefer to like, oh yeah, there is gonna be a huge gang war. Wait a second. Wasn't that a Batman story that sucked?
Yeah, War Games.
No. Gang. Was there a modern gang war where it was Batman versus Catwoman?
That might have been Spider-Man and Black Cat, but I would not be surprised. Oh, you're thinking of Gotham War. Yeah, that's
Gotham War. Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Yeah, that story was awful. Like,
yeah, I'm like, why would you do that?
To sum it all up, the whole thing is that Bruce and Selina are having a lover spat after the Tom King run. Selina ends up serving in jail for a while after rebounding. Then she ends up getting played by Scandal, stroking her ego. Not like that. While incarcerated.
I love how you added not like that.
And then it leads to Vandal Savage trying to prepare Gotham for a meteorite that's similar to the one that gave him his powers. Though I will say, in the vacuum of Bruce's sabbatical, Gotham and Gotham Girl come into play. That's right. We're segueing into Rebirth.
Do we have to reference Tom King?
I'm not referencing the run as a whole. I'm just including Gotham and Gotham Girl specifically.
That's true. They showed up in other people's runs.
So yeah, no Psycho Pirate, no unhinged Gotham Girl. We're gonna try not to go that route.
We're not gonna turn everyone into mentally ill a-holes, no matter how much Tom King tries.
So yeah, Gotham Girl and Gotham Girl pick up the slack in areas where the Bat family immediately can't. Damian is relatively, I will say this now, Damian is relatively indifferent since Gotham Girl practically idolize Batman and mostly help Signal during the day while they're either working cases or resting. But Damian's the only, also on the other side of his mouth is saying, this is a syndrome situation waiting to go off. You just can't see it yet.
And then Grayson says, I never should have shown you that movie.
It's obvious. It's basically a parody of Thawne. Like, seriously, how can you not see it?
No reason.
Are you holding in a laugh right now?
Maybe. It was all Guy Gardner's fault, and then Damian just punches Guy Gardner.
The very fact that I had to sit for that humiliation.
And then Guy goes like, father like son.
Last time I actually teach this kid culture.
Yeah, exactly. Pop culture. And then Nightwing's like, why did you teach him pop culture? Does he look like he's interested in pop culture?
I still don't understand why you keep treating me like a child.
Look at your age. Oh, and then he goes to it was Selina's fault.
What? Wait, what would Selina have to do with this?
She's the one that showed him pop cultural movies.
I think Jamie would be relatively indifferent more than he would appreciate the escapism, but other than that, he would not care.
Yeah, but it wouldn't stop Selina from trying.
Despite being the golden boy, you really don't have no situational awareness, do you, Grayson?
Not really, no.
I'm referring to Selina. She's obviously with child. I've noticed this. Hell, Drake's noticed this, and he's an idiot.
Hey! Drake goes, hey! Why are you so mean?
I don't know. Why'd you lead Stephanie Brown on for months? Oh, that's right.
In our continuity, the entire, Fitz-Martin run didn't happen.
Yeah, so instead, Tim and Steph reconcile. I'm just throwing a little jab there. Nothing against Bernard as a character, just Fitz-Martin just can't write. Fitz-Martin just can't write a bat book to save her life. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And that's understandable. There are plenty of creatives that can write other characters.
And then Grace is like, wait. So everyone knows Selena and Bruce are having a kid. Like, everyone knows this.
And then Guy goes, yeah, I think it would be pretty obvious.
How was I the last? Oh, I don't know. The fact that you've been going back and forth between Starfire and Oracle for the past 3 years.
Yeah, I think you were a little distracted, bro.
Okay, first of all, Starfire and I are very close. That doesn't mean we're doing anything.
Oh, we know you're very close.
The very fact you literally made her head mistress of Titans Academy is proof in of itself.
Yeah, exactly. We all know you're close to Starfire, brother.
I'm not even dignifying that with a response. Grayson, you're a horn dog. You're a harlot. It's fine. Constantine is probably one of the only few
Just
in the community.
embrace it, bro. Just embrace it.
I'm pretty sure Constantine's probably the only one in the community that's even worse than you, though I might be using that wrong.
Probably.
Did you just compare me to Constantine, Damien?
Yes. What are you going to do about it?
You know what?
No. That's what I thought.
No, I'm not doing this.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's right. That's right. You better keep walking, Grayson.
Damien has become more tolerable over the years, but God, that kid's a little shit. I'm sorry. Yes. I mean, he is. He is. I'm just being honest. Oh. But yeah, I mean, man, I feel like that's a place to call it. I mean, we set up Gotham and Gotham Girl would do Thomas patrolling Gotham during the day, maybe a New Direction Gotham Knights. We still have to work the details on that. And a relative. Hold on, what's this? I thought Zod at one point was going to say, "You're not the only one with a child." We're still debating that. We're still, because Sinister Sons. I haven't read the book personally, so I can't. Really
I read the first issue. It sucked.
Again, just give me time to read the first issue of Sinister Sons to see if it's actually worth including in this or not, and we'll get back to you on that.
It could have been interesting, but again, the reason why the Super Sons moderately worked is because Superman and Batman are like best friends and stuff, so that kind of aids in it. Zod and Sinestro don't hang out.
Zod and Sinestro barely even acknowledge each other's existences. They just do their own thing.
Of all the characters you could pick, really?
Sinestro and Luthor would have been. That
would have been way better. But no! It just would. You could have. There's no. You know what it really was? That Tomasi wanted to continue writing Super Sons, even though John's like an adult. So he needed to find a way to shoehorn it in. And boy, did he shoehorn it.
I have nothing against Tomasi. And hey, the damage is done with editorial. So whether or not. I mean, I'm not expecting a full DC reboot anytime soon. Probably within the next year or two.
I am.
But hey, we'll just wait and see on that. But any final thoughts before we wrap up, Jared?
This was dope. I had a lot of fun.
I agree. And what would the next one be? Hold on, because it might be a while before we get to this. Any suggestions or predictions on your head, Jared?
I would suggest maybe okay. So, all right. So the story is here. So we've done the prequel. That's what this is. We did a prequel. Then what we could do is how about straight up just Wonder Woman story of her hunting Thor.
You know, that is a good idea, but I might be able to top it.
All right.
War World Saga.
You just topped it. Wait, didn't we have an idea of Superman and Wonder Woman going on like their version of a second honeymoon as them going to doing the War World Saga thing?
And we set it up in this video. Why do I think I added the whole reincarnation of Thor?
Yep, we're doing War World Saga. We're doing War World Saga.
So with that being said, thank you guys so much for stopping by tonight. Jared, what you got coming up on your channel? Where can people find you?
Well, I just first off, you can find me at Comics League, and I just released a very a great episode of Super Wonder Legacy where Britt and I talked about if Superman and Wonder Woman still need secret identities. So that's out right now. And for Wednesday's video, I'm going to be talking about my favorite Wonder Woman villains to dispel the whole false assumption that Wonder Woman does not have any good supervillain. And then, yeah, that's what we got so far.
All right. Thank you so much, Jared. Hold on, let me get you out of this right quick. As for me, you can find me at jheat75 or jheatblaze on YouTube. Shout out to the profile on Twitter or X who actually helped inspire this video. I don't remember the name offhand, but I put in the I should have put in the comment section on YouTube. Again, it was a great idea. I tried to distinguish ours as much as possible, but again, I just want to make sure that they get proper credit. Next, hopefully, if scheduling works well, stay tuned for the Dragon Ball Daima English dub reaction episode 2 for the dub at 6 p.m. EST. But that ends up getting delayed, I will let you guys know on a community tab. And with that being said, hold on, let me I'm in the wrong button here, excuse me. And with that being said, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us, everybody. Flame off.